Hey guys, welcome back. I'm David and we're here in my shop where I build Ewor guitars. This is episode 11 of the Great Guitar Giveaway. And if you'd like to find out how to win one of these guitars, hit that link above me and you will find out all the details. I promise you it's real easy, so easy that I can do it. Look, when you're done watching that one, I want you to come back and watch this video because it's going to be a good one. I promise. So, in this video, I'm going to show you all how to use this stuff right here, which happens to be lemon scented ammonia. Not that the lemon scent matters, it's just what they have at the dollar store. And this tube right here, which I'm going to put the ammonia in, and use those two things to get this material right here, which is 1/4 inch flame maple binding, curly maple binding. I'm going to soak it in that stuff, and it's going to allow us to bend it. And I'm going to show you how to do that. And it basically all comes down to cutting the curly maple to length, putting it in that tube filled with ammonia and letting it soak for about an hour. And that'll loosen up all the fibers in the wood and allow you to bend it. So that's what we're going to run through in this video. I hope you all like it. Okay, so as you can see, I've got I routed the body and then I kind of sanded some of it out to the point where I could get this binding put on here. And then, so late yesterday, I went ahead and soaked my binding in ammonia for probably an hour or so. And then that loosens up the fibers in the wood, allows me to bend it. And I basically bent it into the channel where it's going to sit, and I just held it in place with this tape. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this tape off, get some glue going on here, and get her glued up. You know what I want to do before I do that though? I want to actually mark this. Let me find a pencil. I'm going to mark these ends so I basically know where to go back. I mean, as you can see, this is unspringing a little bit, but it's generally held its shape, and it'll be much easier to glue it on. You know, I may leave that center on there for now.
tripping and tripping and tripping. We live and we learn, we crash and we burn. We're alone in this world. We rise and we fall. We're one and for all. Pick yourself up off the ground.
I don't know if you could see that in the camera really good, but I'm getting a really nice concave shape here. And I found that using the big DA sander at this top edge that fits that radius nice, I'm kind of keeping it flat and I'm working my way down here. It seems to be cutting at a really nice concave. I'd already gone over this a few times with the 3-inch, and I got this much closer to the binding. Now I'm working on this top and I'm getting a really nice concave shape here, which is what I want. All right, so let me catch up kind of on where we're at. I didn't film a bunch of the sanding because who the hell wants to watch a bunch of sanding? But so where I'm at with this now is I've completely carved and contoured the top, and I've completely contoured and carved, did some carving on the back too to get it rounded, nice and shaped up like I wanted it. Made my little control cavity cover. Anyway, so I did all the shaping and then I sanded the entire body with 80 grit paper, mostly by hand. I used my 6-inch orbital disc sander, some on both front and back in the big flat areas. Most of the rest of this is just plain done by hand. I use rubber erasers like this one right here. It's kind of flexible, so it follows a curve. I can stick my paper to it, you know, like that. I also use some smaller rubber erasers too. I can wrap sandpaper around it, where I can hit areas like this, and it kind of fits the contour of the curve. Anyway, so I did the whole body with 80, okay? Which then, really after 80 is done, for me, all the shaping and all that kind of stuff is done. You're getting out any last little ripples or around the edges or anything. So that was done. Then I went over and I sanded the entire body with 120, okay? I used 120, basically did the same thing. Used the 6-inch DA sander front and back. And then I did all the edges and everything. And of course, I'm, you know, careful to blend the wood binding in with it and everything. Okay. Now, once I did that, on the top, now I want to do a black. I want to do a black base on this top, which helps the grain pop. Okay. And I think you could probably see that in the. You could see where it's starting to come to life. So, in order to do that, from what I understand, the best is it's good to do that in multiple layers of black. So I stained this entirely black with trans tint dye, mixed it with denatured alcohol, okay? And I stained the whole thing and it was just solid black, okay? And then I sanded that, so I'd already sanded it to 120, and then I stained it black, and then I sanded it to 180. See, I'm gonna be sanding up through the grits. I'm gonna go from 80, 120, 180, 220, 320, and probably even 400. So what I want to do, rather than, usually I've gone all the way through all the grits and then I start my staining and then I'm sanding off the stain again, you know, 4 times or 5 times. So I thought this time, since the goal is to get the stain driven down deep into the softer grain, I thought, why don't I start that while I'm sanding up through the grits, and I kind of killed 2 birds with 1 stone. I hadn't done this before, but it kind of makes sense to me, and anyway, so that's what I'm going to do. So
We rise and we fall.
So that's basically the process I use to use a black dye to dye the deeper grains, the softer grains in these figured tops. And then after that, you just put on the color you want to use and you can come up with something that looks like one of these. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate you all watching. If you dig this sort of thing, how about you give me a like and subscribe. And stay tuned next week for the next video where I'm going to be putting the necks on these bodies. And we're going to move it closer and closer to being a full-blown guitar. Anyway, thanks, and we'll catch you all in the next one.